Hello friends, welcome back. Today in this video for the subject basic thermodynamics, we are going to discuss experiment number 1 to determine the coefficient of performance of ice plant. So myself Prasad Bosge, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering. So let us start with this experiment. So the aim of today's experiment is to determine the coefficient of performance of a ice plant or a refrigerator. So here one thing should be made clear that the COP is a theoretical COP. So we are only interested in finding the theoretical COP. So what is the apparatus? So apparatus is the vapor compression test rig, a stopwatch, and or maybe ice plant test rig can be also used here because the cycle followed is the same, that is the vapor compression cycle. So here you can see the experimental setup. Now the theory. Now what is refrigeration? It is defined as a process of removing heat from a body or enclosed space so that its temperature is first lowered and then maintained at a temperature lower than the surrounding temperature. So basically refrigeration process is the same thing, to remove the temperature to remove the heat from the body or an enclosed space and to maintain it at a lower temperature. So the equipments used to maintain the required temperature is called as the refrigerating equipment, and the working substance used to produce the refrigerating effect, or that is the refrigerant, are the examples are R12, R22, R134A. In today's experiment, the refrigerant used is R134A. So what are the methods of refrigeration? So the methods of refrigeration are non-cyclic refrigeration systems. So that is in that you have the refrigeration using ice, refrigeration by evaporation, refrigeration by dry ice. Then cyclic refrigeration systems, that is air refrigeration cycle, vapor refrigeration cycle, and vapor absorption cycle. Other refrigeration systems are thermoelectric refrigeration, steam jet refrigeration, vortex tube refrigeration, magnetic pulse tube refrigeration, and thermocaustic refrigeration system. So here today we are going to discuss the vapor refrigeration cycle, that is the vapor compression cycle. Now what are the applications of refrigeration? So these are the applications: manufacture of ice, household refrigerator, preservation of perishable articles like, that is vegetables, food, medicines, serums, etc. Vapor compression refrigeration system. Vapor compression or vapor refrigeration system is commonly used for refrigeration. So this is the most common cycle or the system used for refrigeration, in which the refrigerant used is R12, CO2, ammonia, or R134A. The schematic diagram is shown below. In the schematic diagram, you can see the different parts, or there are four main parts. The first is the compressor, condenser, throttling valve or capillary tube, and the evaporator. The vapor from the evaporator is sucked by the compressor, which is compressed to a high pressure and high temperature with expense of work, that is by electric motor. The compressed refrigerant at high pressure and temperature is passed to the condenser where it will reject the latent heat to the cooling medium. Generally, air is taken as a cooling medium. During this process, the refrigerant is converted back into liquid and discharged to the reservoir or receiver. The liquid refrigerant at high pressure, still the pressure is high, from receiver is throttled to the lower pressure in the throttling valve. Some part of refrigerant evaporates in the throttling valve, and then this mixture is supplied to the evaporator where it absorbs the latent heat of the substance and transfers the it absorbs the heat. So, vapor from the evaporator is supplied to the compressor again, which is again in a superheated form, and the schematic diagram of the same is shown below. So, you can see here, this is the evaporator, this is the expansion valve, this is the condenser, this is the compressor. So, from the evaporator, the vapor will go in the compressor where the pressure and temperature will increase. So, high pressure, high temperature refrigerant will go in the condenser where the temperature is reduced or the heat is rejected, but the pressure is same. So, the high pressure, low temperature refrigerant will go through this expansion valve, wherein what happens, the pressure reduces, and due to that there is sudden drop in the pressure. Now, the semi liquid form or the form of the refrigerant will change, and wet type of refrigerant will go in the evaporator, where in the evaporator the heat is absorbed, where again the refrigerant will get heated and it will get converted into dry vapor. So, this diagram is also shown here. You can see the same diagram is explained here. So, this is the evaporator, this is the condenser, this is the receiver tank, the expansion valve, the compressor. Now, unit of refrigeration. The rating of refrigeration refrigerating machine is given by a standard unit, that is tons of refrigeration. A ton of refrigeration is defined as the amount of refrigeration effect produced by the uniform melting of 1 ton of, that is 1000 kgs of ice from and at 0 degree Celsius in 24 hours. So, in simple words, that is 1 ton of ice from and at 0 degree Celsius will melt in 24 hours. So, this is the conversion. You can see the latent heat of ice is 335 kilojoules per kg. Therefore, 1 ton of refrigeration, that is 1 TR in 24 hours. So, this is 335 kilojoules in 24 hours. You can see how much energy, that is the heat, kilojoules per minute is lost, 223.6 is the. In actual practice, 1 ton refrigeration is taken as equivalent to 210 kilojoules per minute or 3.5 kilowatts per second. So, coefficient of performance, that is our aim to find out the COP. The formula is output upon input. Output is the refrigerating effect, that is Q, and input is the net work. So, here you have the formula H1 minus H4 upon H2 minus H1. So, this is the change in enthalpy. Okay, enthalpy, this is work done, and this is the refrigerating effect. So, procedure: start the vapor compression test rig. Note down the quantity of water in the evaporator and its temperature. Again, note down the time taken for 5 revolutions of energy meter in the compressor. keep the apparatus as it for 1 hour. So, what you can observe here, you can observe the temperatures T1 till steady state. For example, wait for 40 minutes, T1, T2, T3, T4. This is the compressor pressure. After compression, what is the pressure achieved? That is P2, and this is P1, that is the evaporator pressure. So, a pressure gauge is mounted at the exit of the compressor, at the inlet of the evaporator. So, that is this is the evaporator pressure and this is the compressor pressure. And T1, you can see T1 is at the temperature at the exit of the evaporator, T2 is the temperature after compression, T4 is the temperature after condenser, and T3 is the temperature after condensation, T4 is the temperature after throttling. So, these are the temperatures. Again I repeat, T1 is the evaporator temperature, T2 is the temperature after compression of the refrigerant, T3 is the temperature at the exit of the condenser, and T4 is the at the exit of the condenser. So, inlet and outlet part. So, this is the diagram what we have discussed. So, these points are given. So, these are the temperatures T1, T2, T3 and T4, and this is the pressure. Here you have the evaporator pressure, here you have the compressor pressure. So, this line 2 to 3 is compressor pressure and 4 to 1 is evaporator pressure line. So, here you can see the observation table. So, these are the temperatures what we have got. T1 is 27, T2 is 60, T3 is 30. Means now after compression the temperature is 60, and after condensation the temperature has gone down to 30, 60 to 30. So, there is heat loss, and again the T3 to T4 is the temperature after throttling. This is the compressor pressure, this is the evaporator pressure. You can see the difference. Now, what you have to do, by using these temperatures and pressure, you have to draw the pH diagram. This is the pH diagram. So, on the y-axis you have the pressure, on x-axis you have the enthalpy. So, our aim is to find out the enthalpy. So, you can see these vertical lines coming are the temperature lines. They come like this, they go like this, and they come like this. So, what you have to do is, initially you have to take the pressure. So, first evaporator pressure is this. So, that is how much? 1.013.5 bars. This is the evaporator pressure. Compressor pressure is 12.99 bars. So, draw the two horizontal lines parallel to the x-axis. Now, what you have to do? For example, T1 is 27. To take the 27 line like this, follow that line and go down. So, when the temperature line will cut this evaporator line, that point will be T1. Again the same thing, T2 after compression, that is 60, follow the 60 line, follow that line, and where it cuts the compressor pressure, that is 0.2. Now, what happens? The pressure remains constant in the condenser. So, here heat is ejected and here heat is absorbed. So, this is evaporator, this is the evaporator, this is the condenser, this is compression, and this is throttling. So, this is throttling again from 3 to 1. So, here enthalpy remains constant. So, H3 is equal to H4. In throttling process, enthalpy remains constant. So, from these points, take vertical lines from this point parallel to the y axis, you will get the h1, h2, again h3 and h4. Now putting these values in this formula, so from that diagram we have got the values h1, h2, h3, h4. So coefficient of performance, that is theoretical, we get this. This is the observation table and the pH diagram. That same pH diagram is drawn. So this is the evaporator pressure, this is the condenser pressure, this is the enthalpy on x axis, this is the pressure. So this dotted line is the evaporator pressure, again this is the condenser pressure. You can see evaporation, heat absorption, heat rejection, this is compression, that is work input, and this is expansion. So this is all we have got here. So COP is 9. The same is explained at the bottom. So thank you friends. Thank you very much.